by you all so wonderfully today, Sister Richardson. God bless you. Oh my God, it's so good to see you today. Wow. You all. So yes, help yourselves. And so this is Giovanni Richardson, Sister Gigi.
Taste the
Give
Gala.
her, okay, a taste of Gala. Give her a round of applause. And she has a special presentation.
Yes, so hi, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Ocho Festival, the first annual here in Charleston, South Carolina. Woo, big up to those who have put together this festival, and we are so grateful for that. From my understanding, Ocho Festival is the festival of opening up the harvest. Is that correct? I am a generational farmer. I've been farming for generations. Well, my family's been farming for generations. I am a modern child who went to college and decided to work in corporate, and then I got burnt out in corporate, and then I realized that I don't really need to make $90,000 a year. I got a house and acreages, and I can put my hands in the dirt. Now, if you are aware, you know that all of that just helps you better yourself as a person. So it makes your spiritual more spiritual, as this festival now, according to the tablets and the information, if I'm not mistaken, we are talking about giving reverence to Ochosi, which is one of the Orishas. He is the hunting and medicinal Orisha. So it all seems to play together. He's also one of my spiritual guides. So I'm here to talk about this now. I was under the impression that I was going to be doing a presentation for a group of children.
Well, you are, yes. That too.
In the room. And
That
so
too.
what I was basically is going to be doing is telling them a little bit about what farming is. Okay, so y'all don't know what farming is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Food,
I don't mean to interrupt. But yes, you are. And so what we are going to do, I thought that you had, I just kind of wanted to thank you for preparing the food for the dancers. But we have a special session downstairs for the children. We've got a setup downstairs for children. Yes, and so you and Mother Iya, you all will be taking our children downstairs for the special breakout session. I didn't want you to just, so because upstairs here, what we're gonna do is the art exhibition for the old new and the adults. So I appreciate you, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt y'all. Just pray for me, okay? But
I say.
I didn't want you to get too
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, all right. We're all still learning, and we're gonna all get together. So at this time, we're gonna do the breakout downstairs. We've got the young ones, and Mother is going to also be doing a special presentation for the young children on the second floor. We have a special setup already downstairs for the children. So,
Well, I haven't been down there yet. I'm going down there now.
Oh, okay.
And they can come
So
with
let's
me.
give Sister Gigi a round of applause, and thank you once again.
The
for
children can
sponsoring
come
the
with
food.
me, bring your
Yes,
snack.
the dancers and the drummers. So taste the gullah.
Taste of Gala is the business. Check it out. We do oral history, and we are a food, mobile food business. Our mobile food business is called the Gumbo Machine by Taste the Gala. So,
Taste the gullah.
Taste the Gala.
You hear that, local folks? Do you do shipping and anything?
Yes,
Have
we
the
do a
spices?
line of products that we have. We have hot sauces, barbecue sauces, different types of spices. They're all authentic. You can trace them back into the culture, the Gullah culture, or in the Caribbean and West African diaspora.
Absolutely wonderful. So once again, another round of applause. Thank you. And once again, forgive me for that, but I want you to be able to lay out for your children, because we got a nice layout for you downstairs with the children, to be able to give them all of the seating and everything that you have planned and prepared for that. So we have a special space for you. Okay? All right. That's how we want to do it. Okay. All right. So at this time. All right, here we go. So it's so we are just so pleased to have. I just want to say thank you to the city, first of all, as well, for them allowing the setup here, the way we have it set up today. And I think the ONU is going to be ready to do the special presentation of the history of the Gullah Kingdom. We've got a lot of interpretations to the paintings here as well.
Let's take a break first so we can kind of get things situated here first.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you all wouldn't mind, we're gonna just, I'll still leave you all on live, or if you wanna come back live, we will, but we're gonna just kind of regroup a minute here. So So thank you everyone on the Facebook Live. The ambassador says, thank you very much, Sister Gigi. He says, God bless you.
Yeah.
And he appreciates you for what you've done today.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of do a brief regroup, and so that we can, so I'll be back. If you all want me to come back on, return it on live, or you want me to leave it on, I can leave it on too. But I know you all are here, so we appreciate that.
Take charge. You're gonna get folks from Brazil to Nigeria saying different things. But so why are we doing this with the children? Because Gigi, could you step down here for a second, please? Second. Oh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, she wants somebody something.
But I'm going down.
Okay.
Yeah, you could go forth on what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Downstairs we go.
So yeah, I just,
This is a challenge.
yeah. Okay. So what you do? Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us.
There, so you know, I can wait till you're ready for this, or I can just, or you can invite people to come and I'll begin over here.
Okay. So I'll just come forward. So
Yeah, how you want to do it so we flowing with your televised event right here. Let me thank you for this. I'm gonna put it up.
I haven't placed any water.
Yes. Oh, okay.
So I just want, the ceremony.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, that absolutely.
Yeah, you missed the poem of the life vibrations of the outside the ceremony. We did it out there in the front. Thank you.
We just left everything, when you said we need to be here now, we just left everything right on the next and
But I got it recorded.
I'm gonna do an interpretation of the paintings over here. So we'll be on this side, because it kind of goes in, it flows from that wall coming around over into this direction. So if you all want to join us down this way, and for our children, I think they need to be ready for the children to go downstairs. And we want to keep in mind social distancing. We have to keep reminding each other about that. And so, all right, yeah, y'all can take the elevator right here to the second floor. Y'all good?
Yes.
All right. So actually, let me grab some chairs so you all can sit, because things are kind of situated where you all can observe it. Yeah, cheers. We can, want to make yourself comfortable, we grab some chairs here. Okay. I'm going to be very informal with this, so anybody can jump in and ask any questions. I'm going to, this side I'm going to be kind of going like this. So, yeah, watch the elevator right here at the entrance. Okay, most times when people think about Gullah culture, or when people talk about Gullah culture, they don't go as deep as I'm about to go now. But Gullah culture is so deep and so vast until the war that we were in, the spiritual war that brought us to this place, is still ongoing to the extent that people have gotten comfortable with it. And you know, so we have to now make a careful investigation of everything that we do to make sure that we are actually fighting to maintain the culture and to get back to the power that made us great. And I'm going to touch on some of this greatness now. When we talk about the Gullah culture, we want to go back at least to 3000 BC. 3000 BC. A lot of folks like to start with slavery. Nothing starts with slavery. So we can't start with slavery. We got to start when we have the most powerful army in the world. Okay, this is verifiable truth. It's not like it's a black thing. This is a true thing. You see, there are people who want to make Santa Claus back. I want to tell you today, Santa Claus ain't black. All right, people want to make Jesus black. He might be, but the Hebrew Messiah, Yeshua, is he is black. Jesus, the Christian Christ, is a different thing. And so this is not a religious talk. This is not, it's not even a good idea. All right? This is verifiable truth. 3000 BC, the Pharaoh Atat, 4th dynasty Pharaoh. And understand, when we measured time, there was a point when we didn't say BC, before Christ, because we had no idea that somebody was going to come along and create this fictional time thing that we are now dealing with. Okay? So we dealt with dynasties going back 3000 BC. 4th dynasty, the 4th pharaoh of the 1st dynasty in Kemet, not Egypt. Okay? It became Egypt after several years of invasions. Okay? There was the Hyksos invasion, the Persian invasion, the Greek invasion, the Roman invasion, the Arab invasion, before Europe invaded. You understand? All those invasions before Europe invaded. And so we're talking thousands of years. So we've seen many of the, some of the actors like Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston and people like that, and this type of dress. But that's fiction. And it's actually caused, it's impacted our imagination. And a couple of words you find in imagination: image and nation. And so most of our people can't even imagine us as the people who actually built pyramids. Now, pyramids are significant in that they were temples. So our focus wasn't, as the European says, burial chambers. These were temples where we engage spiritual realms that people have no knowledge of right now. And so we're now trying to get back to those realms and those powers that we once had. And that's the significance of this day. Excuse me, this particular Ocho Festival was banned in 1956 in Nigeria because the people that the British put in charge, they didn't want us to actually be doing what we're doing now. Why? Because this signifies a return to a power that they thought we would never once again have. Now, why do I say that? I say it because we're familiar with pyramids in Egypt, but many of us are not familiar with pyramids in other areas, like the pyramids that are in Nigeria. How many knew there were pyramids in Nigeria? I mean, I'm not the deepest person out here. I've done a lot of study, but I didn't know there were pyramids in Nigeria until I made the reconnection to the Igala Kingdom. You see, there are pyramids in Nigeria. The British tried to destroy it, but there were too many. And then there's one that they diminished in size, and I guess they got tired of trying to take it down, so they just left it. You see? So we need to know that there are pyramids, in Nigeria, but they refer to them as Igbo pyramids. And the reason why they refer to them as Igbo pyramids, it is still a part of their trying to separate us from Igala culture. Okay? As I began studying about the Gullah culture, they told me that Gullah originated with Gola as in Angola. Okay? But many of us who did our DNA, none of it took us to Angola. So I had to do some research, and I looked, and I found that there's oceanographic evidence that when the Portuguese grabbed people in what is now Angola, they took them to Brazil. So there's so many of our brothers and sisters in Brazil, okay? And so anyway, I jumped around there, but I want to stick with this one minute. The Igala culture is so vast, so ancient, so powerful. We built the pyramids, and they're still trying to figure out how we did it. And the only people who will be able to explain it is us. When will we explain it? It's called genetic memory. When we remember how we do it, we can tell them how we did it. Until that time, let them keep trying to figure it out. But that's the significance of this day. When we reconnect to that power, it's about culture. It's about the ancestors who built it, telling us, once they realize, can we tell them now? Can we tell them how we did it? And be sure that they ain't gonna use it for the wrong thing.
Right.
That's right.
That's what time it is. And so think about it. Why should they tell us and have us to try to make money off of it? And then we will use it against our people again.
Again, right.
So no, we can't do that. This brother, Taharka, he is written of in the book of Kings, Chronicle, and Isaiah. He's not Igala. But I wanted you to understand, this is the thing. The Bible talks about him. And when I say the Bible, what we now know to be the 66 collection of books that have been whittled down and taken from holy writings by African people, they talk about him, and they call him the king of Ethiopia. Understand what I said? The king of Ethiopia in the book of Kings, Chronicle, and Isaiah. Now, when they say Ethiopia, they're talking about an Ethiopia that meant the entire continent of Africa, not the little nation on the eastern horn of Africa. All of it was called Ethiopia. So that means he was the king as he was the king of the world. There was a time when it was only all of us on the planet. There was no yellow man, brown man, all that kind of stuff. Okay? So his army was so vast, when the Assyrian army threatened to attack Jerusalem, he sent a messenger that said, if you attack Jerusalem, I'll send an army so vast, when the first man reached you, the last man hadn't even left yet. Wow. Okay? That's the kind of army he had. And so now let's deal with geography. He was in Nubia, Meroe, where there are pyramids there too. Okay? And so if one man got from all the way down there and is up near Syria and Israel, Jerusalem area, and the other, and so your army is that vast. That's like being like the first man being in North Carolina. Come on in. In North Carolina, and the last man is still getting ready to leave. Okay, so the army was so vast, and the Assyrian army was so powerful. When the Assyrian army said, okay, we're going to attack him anyway, they waited about 20 years in their attack. And his army killed 185,000 Assyrians. Now, it's amazing the things that he did to accomplish that, because on the day the battle was to occur, their quivers that holds the arrows was eaten off by mice. So he actually commanded the mice. Wow. Now, I've heard of people with these powers that actually could command the ants, the birds, and other elements. And so, again, we have to remember how we commanded things like that. People run around talking, I'm scared of cats. Are you scared of a cat? We're supposed to have an army of lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Okay. Pharaoh and the 13th Pharaoh of the 8th dynasty. Another powerful ancestor. He's the ancestor of our most recent prime minister. So when you can trace your ancestry all the way back thousands of years, okay, there's a power associated with that the European continues to envy us and wonder how they did that. How that separated them from that. But I see something else happening right now. So the British, who was the final one to actually take control of the regions that we came from, like after those successive invasions into Kemet, and as we migrated away, understand that Kemet has a vast river culture, people who use the river like a highway. And so if you got a river culture, then you're used to traveling by boats and doing things by boats, okay? So as we migrated from Egypt, well, Kemet, and as it became Egypt, and everywhere we went, you know, you could see our culture. So you see our architecture, pyramids. And by the time we got to where the kingdom palace is right now in Nigeria, Ghana, we didn't stop there. This is Mexico. So when you see the architectural influence, there's a point where after we migrated all the way from Kemet, all the way into Igala, across the ocean, okay? And the influence begins once we got to our present location and as we cross the ocean. And it's simple about crossing the ocean and influencing Mexico, all the Mayans, as well as the Aztecs. What's the evidence? The evidence is the architecture. They didn't have any pyramids until then. They didn't have any, the priesthood who's identical clothing and stuff until then. They didn't have any calendar that's identical to the Kemet calendar. You can't just accidentally have a calendar just like mine, and I'm a whole world away. You know, you can't do that by accident. So when you see the pyramids from Peru all the way up to Mexico, what the difference is, some of those pyramids were dug out, okay? Because they were covered over by jungle and dirt. So when they talk about Indian mounds in North America, it's the same thing. So from Texas to Canada, that's how far, it goes all the way up. Because Mexico was all the way up to Canada until America invaded and took it over. And California became part of America. Texas became part of America. Nevada, all of that. So our influence can be seen all the way up. But again, it's going to require that we master this knowledge so that we can then speak to our brothers, the native people, and help them to unearth our pyramids so we can continue and remember how we did it and use the knowledge for things that we have to do in this time. So this is dealing with an ancient history. Let's bring it up. Again, the Igala kingdom, now centered in Nigeria, had to deal with the invasions all the way in Kemet. And coming forward, we entered into a strategic alliance with Benin. Benin was a powerful African kingdom. And we were in alliance with Benin so that in case the European come and grab us, you know, we have a joint army, we'll defend ourselves. So the king of the Benin people, he began grabbing our people and selling us to the Portuguese. So the Igala king said, no, man. Once he realized what was happening, he said, no, we're not in this anymore. This allegiance with you anymore is over. So they increased grabbing us and selling us to the Portuguese through the Ida port. Ida is where the Igala kingdom is now. And so they kept doing this, and it was accelerating to the point where the king said, he called for the priest. He said, I need for you to consult the oracle. We need to know what's going to happen. What will happen with this thing? Because we're about to go to war with these people. So we need to know what's going to be the outcome. So when the priest consulted the oracle, the oracle said, the priest said, what the oracle revealed. He said, my mouth is too small to repeat. I just can't even, it took him a whole long period of time before he finally revealed that the oracle said, in order, first of all, if we fight Benin, we'll be totally destroyed, and they will sell everybody off into enslavement. Okay? So we were going to lose that war. Unless he sacrificed his daughter in Nippy. The king was like, I ain't about to do that. So, make a long story short, when the Nippy found out that the king was distressed because he had to choose her or the kingdom, she made the choice. She said, I'll sacrifice myself to save my people. So she was sacrificed along with 9 servants at the bank near where the Benue and the Niger River meets. And when they sacrificed her, this piece, and this is a Nippy over here. Princess Nippy. She sacrificed herself and her 9 maidens. And so when the Benin scout came to see, actually came before the army came to go to war, this is what he saw. This, and some of you all have seen this already, but what he saw was the entire kingdom seemed to be on fire. It had already been destroyed. But that was an illusion cast by the blood of the Nippy. Now, this is a true story. This ain't like Hansel and Gretel. You know, and 7 dwarfs and whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Snow White or whatever. This ain't Snow Black. This is a true story. She was sacrificed. And then, because she didn't want her people to go into enslavement. Now, let's deal with the significance of that sacrifice. That sacrifice follows us to right now. And I'm going to prove it. 10 years after 10 years after the sacrifice, so this, understand, the time period we're talking is 1516. Okay? 1516. And 10 years after that sacrifice, some of us had already been captured and taken into enslavement. Remember, I point that out. And the Spanish and the Portuguese had us in the Brazil, South and Central America. The Spanish had us in the island of Hispaniola, where Haiti and the Dominican Republic is at, right? So, Hispaniola, they had Africans enslaved there. And the Spanish magistrate tried to establish a colony at Georgetown, South Carolina. He brought 600 people, 100 Africans, and he said, I need y'all niggas to build me a colony.